Hello, everybody. I have now successfully completed first week of having absolutely no sugar, no meat, no alcohol, and my favorite one, no smoking. So, what do I feel? I feel absolutely amazing. And obviously, in this video, you will see what really happens and how the body changes. So, stay with me and do make sure that you watch the full video. Hi, my name is Ritesh Chawla. A little bit about my journey, so you can find more details at riteshchawla.co.uk. But I run a successful business called Made to Measure. Made to Measure specializing in construction, really. So we do house refurbs, we do fitted furniture, we do all sorts of things, really. Anything to do with an extension, a loft conversion, or garage conversion. So that's all about my company, really. I also do have a small IT company called itworld.london, which is based remotely, and it helps businesses to maximizing their leads or sales, which in terms of digital marketing or creating their online presence, and maybe helping them in sales as well, like a CRM system and managing their leads, and sort of making sure that they are optimizing their business fully and professionally. So that's all about me. And this channel is a crazy channel. It's all about really sharing my ideas, and mainly to do with how important is physical health, followed by financial health, leading to a great mental health, and obviously, which is all what we want, is an amazing spiritual journey. At the end of the day, we're all living here just to enjoy life at the end of the day, isn't it? So let's talk about sugar. Obviously, I've left sugar for a good week now. How do I feel? I think more importantly, you obviously know the things on the left it does horrible things to your body, but you do have a strong sugar craving. It is not only to do with the body, it is to do with your gut system as well, because your gut is used to of having high content of sugar. And pretty much when you go out for shopping, everything what you find is got sugar in it. So really, it's not possible in today's life to live without sugar. But what I essentially am doing in this experiment is to see how the body reacts. And also to get into a habit of not consuming any external form of sugar on a daily basis. Probably not on the weekend when you're going out and about and with your family and friends and having fun. And I think that's the time you should enjoy these things, but not on a daily basis. So my experience with sugar has been really a little bit tough, because I'm still craving. I do have a sweet tooth. Some people don't like sweets, but I do. So obviously I do miss sugar, but I think it's gone off my system now. So I'm come to a point where I don't essentially crave for sugar anymore. I do have fruits, so I'm okay with that. There's a kind of sugar coming into my body. But yeah, it's a bit of a journey, really. I can't, if I was not doing this challenge, I would have probably had a chocolate cake or something like that. I think this is another problem. When you stay away from something, you are prone to a relapse, like a bigger one. So all of a sudden, if I leave this challenge, I probably will have, 3-4 slices of chocolate cake, just because I haven't had sugar for a while. So that's really bad as well. But obviously, I think most of it is just thoughts, really. It just withers away. So you just have to stay with your thought process and understand why you're doing it. And then it just goes away. For me, because I'm obviously being recorded, everybody knows about it. So it's very, very difficult for me to even think about having sugar or smoking or, alcohol and stuff like that. So that's all about sugar. So about meat, there's not a lot to add on apart from the fact that I'm really missing eating meat as such. But I do believe that it's adding on to my reduction of weight, because naturally when you're turned towards vegetarian food, you are picking on salads and more healthy items in general. Also for a fact that I'm not taking sugar is also adding, because I'm adding fruits. But I think the metabolism really changes when I don't eat meat. So I believe, I haven't done enough research on it, but I believe that when you do eat meat, it takes longer for the meat to get digested in your system, but it's a lot quicker when you're eating a vegetarian meal. And I think especially with the salads, I believe that when I have a nice salad, when I'm full and in a couple of hours I'm hungry, I can feel that it's gone off my system. So that's probably a predominant difference between meat is metabolism. But yeah. So speaking about alcohol, I'm actually not missing alcohol at all. I don't get any cravings. I'm not really looking forward to it as such. And I'm feeling a lot better actually than having alcohol, because your body energies deplete the very next day you've had alcohol. So yeah, no complaints there. Smoking, so that's my favorite one. Yes, it's been a week I haven't smoked. Changes. The first couple of days, the first 3 days, you could feel the craving right there. Your body's absolutely asking and crying for nicotine. But I think after the 3 or 4 days, depending on everybody, may be different for everybody. I think it's more a habit then. So I think after the 3 days, the nicotine is flushed out of your body essentially. What you're craving for is a habit. And if you actually, there's a beautiful book called The Power of Habit. If you actually look at habit is always triggered with a cue, and there's a trigger, and there's an action, and there's a reward, right? So obviously, what you need to focus on, a habit or a smoking craving is basically a habit, which there may be a cue. The cue could be time, a particular time in the day you used to smoke, or could be a particular place you used to smoke, could be a particular friend you smoked with. There's so many cues. Obviously, it'll trigger a response of you asking for a cigarette. That is a trigger. But then the action is you picking up a cigarette. So now this is where you need to replace the action, I think, and it works for me. I mean, this very well detailed in that book, which is called The Power of Habit. So obviously that action moment is when you need to replace it. You can replace that action with a glass of water. You can replace that action with anything you like, really. And then automatically it will, get saved in your brain as a reward. Now, in this case, let's say if you replace a cigarette with drinking a glass of water, the reward will be, I haven't smoked. You feel that amazing feeling inside. But again, back to this. Any addiction when it comes to cigarettes or alcohol or anything like that, the idea is not to leave things. I mean, they're not bad as such. Cigarette or smoking is not really bad. It's just, I think it's a bit stupid to smoke every day, that's all. If you like smoking, then you should enjoy it when you're out and about with friends, but it shouldn't be a part of a daily habit because you're more of a slave to it. But yeah, that's it for smoking. Right, so let's talk about the actual numbers. So let's start with Google. Hey Google, what's the day today?
It's Monday, the 29th of July, 2024.
Brilliant, 29th of July. So I've essentially completed 1 week without sugar, no alcohol, no meat, and then obviously there's no smoking either. So let's have a look. So my fasting blood sugar. So if I have a look here, last week it was 6.3 and now it's gone down to 5.8. However, I am still pre-diabetic because anything which is 5.6, which means 100 or below is not pre-diabetic. It should be the ideal thing, but obviously I am 5.6, so I'm almost like 105. So obviously I'm still pre-diabetic level, but the good news is that my blood sugars, fasting blood sugar, have come down. Looking at the blood pressure, my blood pressure, I'm not really worried about it, but obviously the diastolic has remained same at 83, but the systolic has increased a little bit from 133 to 142. Blood pressure is a bit of a funny one. It doesn't have to be always accurate. But what I'm assuming the blood pressure at the moment, as you can see from the numbers here, it's anything which is above 120 or so is elevated really, and I'm on this mark. Actually, of today it reached stage 2, which is 140 mark. But obviously, with exercise and a bit of diet, it's going to take a little while, for a few weeks, I'm assuming, for it to come down to more 130 levels, and probably coming down to, the elevated levels, which is 120 to 129, and we'll see the journey from there on. But my obviously diastolic remains at this level, but obviously my systolic has got a little bit higher, but I'm okay with that. It's not a massive problem at all. Now my heart rate, as you can see, my heart rate has come down a little bit. Again, heart rate a bit is funny one anyway. But yeah, it's good to know that it's come down from 77 to 68. More importantly, my body weight. Last week I made a mistake and I was saying continuously 83.9, 83.6, but it was actually 83.9. But I was actually 83.9, then 80.6, and this week I am 83.4. So 83.2, sorry. And so that means I've reduced about 700 grams, which is nearly about a kilo. Okay, that's really good actually. Anything between, ideally should be 500 gram or weight you should lose. You shouldn't lose more than that. But 500 kilo is still a bit of a push. But anything above kilo is just not right. You're just doing it too fast. But obviously, yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm really happy. Energy levels are feeling really good. And I really want to continue this and really see what happens next week. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.